Hello and welcome to Talk Tuesday. So, I thought we could set aside a time on Tuesdays to talk about a variation of topics. We could talk about mainstream media, health, family, wellness, whatever it is that may be going on that week, or we can just talk about anything. Just come together, and this will be a safe place where everybody's opinions will be respected. And in the comments, let's open up each other's minds and hearts to all varying ideas and opinions, and not be disrespectful while either agreeing or disagreeing. So I thought today we would start with the Super Bowl halftime show, as that is getting a lot of attention and has a lot of varying views, and not just watching, but views on what people think of it. So I'll have to just be completely transparent and honest. So when I was watching the Super Bowl, I could not get my daughter to come in and watch with me. She was in her room doing her thing and she had no interest. So when I was watching the Super Bowl halftime party, it was just me, myself, and and of course God is always with me. I might have got a little in the flesh at that moment because Shakira and JLo were my girls growing up. I was not saved growing up, so I never really thought in the way that I do now, because as we know, when you're a new creation, you're completely transformed, and the way that you look at things is not how you used to look at them. So now, with that being said, I was just like, oh, I'm feeling this, Shakira and JLo, and these are, like I said, people I used to watch back in the day, so I kind of was feeling like a little young again, and I was watching, but I was more, actually, while it was going on, I was like, I wonder now, because, I'm 39, whatever, we all gonna get older, we're all gonna have wrinkles, we're all gonna get, there in life. So I said, I want to Google, how old is Shakira and how old is JLo? So I'm often doing that. If I'm watching something, I'm usually Googling or, working on something else. So I was doing that. I'm like, oh my goodness, Shakira's 43. JLo's 50. Look they're still in shape. They're still doing their career. This is awesome. This is like what us women that are moving up in age need to see, that, you can still be strong in what you're doing, and you can still have vigor in your later years, and you don't have to be, in your 20s, which is great. Listen, I loved my 20s too. All ages are wonderful and for a purpose, but to just really live to your fullest potential, and even look-wise, So then today, as I knew I was going to do this topic, I said, I'm going to really rewatch this with Holy Spirit and kind of study it, and, see what I think now, actually watching the show and not being distracted. So as I did that, I first off, yes, the outfits were ridiculous. I really do believe that women should dress in modesty. And I don't mean you have to be dressed from, head to toe, turtleneck to the skirt to your ankles. I do believe we need to have some sense of fashion and style, but to do it in a modest way. And I was thinking, okay, now if Chloe were in the room and she saw these women in those outfits, I don't know that I would feel comfortable. And that would definitely have to bring up, some deeper discussions on modesty. And, we're given a body, a beautiful body, women, and God designed us that way because men are visual. So I believe that there is a time and a place. And if you're married and you are with your husband in the bedroom and you want to shake your hips and, to your husband and your husband only after marriage, and say they don't lie, and, give him a show, I say, go for it. Go for it. That is a beautiful, wonderful creation for what it's designed for the bedroom, for your husband to just, be whatever you want to be. But as far as broadcasting that to everybody, no, I don't think that's okay. And it would make me uncomfortable. I'm currently single. It would probably make me a little uncomfortable if, a couple things. One, if my father, even though he's passed away, but like, or an uncle or someone like that were in the room with me, or if my husband were in the room with me, or if I had a son. Because men are visual, and them watching that can spike some impure thoughts in them and things that they shouldn't have to deal with for just coming and watching a Super Bowl party. Nor should our daughters have to look at something like that and then think, do I have to put on those kind of clothes and go out and shake everything I've got in front of everybody in order to get attention and noticed? So, looking back then and looking at it with a more critical eye, no, it wasn't appropriate. But here's another thing that we have to understand. We're in the world, but not of it. So we have to realize that there's going to be a million things every day in the world that we do not agree with, that we don't want to be a part of. But that's where we have to use our discernment. And that's where we have to make decisions just for ourselves. If this is something that's offensive to me, well, then I'm just going to turn the channel off, okay? This is it. It's done. If this is something that I want to watch me with the Holy Spirit to get a grasp on pop culture right now and how I can pray, well then, yeah, go ahead. And then, if you do get in your flesh and you're like, okay, well, wait a minute, there was nothing really wrong with that, like I did initially, and then go back and review, it's okay also to do that. You just have to take everything that you're thinking and you're viewing and you're doing to God, okay? Take it to Him, give yourself grace, and, don't get to a point that everything is so horrible that you're not enjoying life, because, this is our domain. We are here to take dominion, so we are to enjoy life. We are to enjoy music and concerts and dancing and food and festivals and go out and live life to your fullest, because He's here to give life and life more abundantly. But we're doing it through a different lens of the world. So when we do it, and when we do call ourselves Christian, we do carry an extra responsibility, and we have to take that into consideration. And my Christianity, right, and your Christianity, we have unity because we believe in the same Father, the same Son, and Holy Spirit, and that Jesus died on the cross, rose again, and was both God and man, and all of the really important things that bring us together, and that we are saved. And I can go into that, and if you want to add anything of what makes us bond together as the unity of faith, and that makes us family. So, when I'm with my family and we have a disagreement, we can disagree and still be respectful to one another. So let's go ahead, and when we do give our comments, because all of our opinions are valid, all of our relationships are different, just like, your relationship with your earthly father is going to be different than mine, just like my relationship with God is going to be different than yours, because we are all built different and we filter things differently. So I'm not right, you're not right, we're all just expressing our opinions on a matter to try to, grow each other and become the best people we can be for both God and the world. So I just want to make sure I clarified that, so when we get into the comments and this conversation gets rolling, that we are respectful of one another. So I guess my final thought on the Super Bowl halftime party or halftime show was that no, it was not appropriate for a family show. It was not appropriate or acceptable in the eyes of God as far as what we have read in the Word is modesty, okay? But with that being said, we are living in the world that is fallen. So we have to be aware of that there's going to be a lot of things that are not going to be of God, and that's where we have to, put on our filter, put on our discernment, and then decide what we're going to watch, what we're not going to watch, how we're going to process it, what we're going to process, what we're not going to process, and whether you're a male or a female, and what generation and everything you're from, all has to go through the filter and then has to go back to the Word, and you have to give yourself and others grace. And then to end it also, we have to make sure that we are not rashly and unsolicitedly giving our opinions to people that are non-Christians, because Yeah, now listen, if it's solicited and somebody asks, what do you think of the Super Bowl show? Sure, you're going to tell them the truth. We're not going to lie about who we are. We're going to always be honest about who we are. But if it's not solicited, then that means that the conversation, the door is closed, it's not open. And God will open and close doors for conversations because some people need to hear things and some people don't. Because you have to understand, people that are not in Christianity have never sat down with the Bible. They've never sat down and talked to God. So they don't understand the new creation. Now, God will allow you to speak to people and open doors in your personal life for people who are ready for those kind of conversations. Sometimes, though, in our speaking without it being solicited or authorized by God, it can actually close a door and turn somebody off to our awesome, most powerful God. And we don't want to do that or be responsible for that. So let's be wise and discerning in all of our ways. Let's always try to keep improving. If we miss the mark, that's okay because we all fall short of the glory. Let's help one another to grow and let's be the best we can be for the faith. Okay, well, listen, thank you so much for watching the First Talk Tuesday.